I'm going to read a tweet. It's from someone who identifies themselves. They call themselves Jugs Mathis, Juggs Mathis. Okay, at chill or kill. Okay, Jugs Mathis at chill or kill. All right, it's a very simple tweet. All right, this tweet was made on September 14th, 2021, at 11:15 a.m. I don't know what part of the country or the world that this person was in. Okay, all right, it's real simple. You're probably gonna think it's stupid when I read it, but here we go. Men's health is important. Men's health is important. Men's health is important. Then in all caps, men's mental health is important. Okay, that is it. That is the tweet, right? Real stupid, right? It's just somebody basically yelling at you. Yelling this at you, okay? A woman that calls herself Jugs Mathis, okay? I've uh, looked at her Twitter page. I looked at some other things too. Basically, I feel this is well, I'm making a fucking episode, right? I'm making a fucking episode, right? But on her page, she has some stuff on there saying like, "Oh, support black men" and all that shit. I feel like it's token. It's a token post. Okay, I feel like she's a misandrist. I could be wrong, but at this point, I don't give a shit. Even some women that think they're doing good, they're really harming you emotionally. Okay, and that's why I'm making a fucking episode and shit. Okay, because we hear this all the time and shit. Okay, I just read you a simple tweet and shit that said men's mental health is important. Okay, I read that tweet. All right. And you consider the source, okay? Consider that. We keep seeing that therapist and shit, and she's having a mental meltdown, and the women ignore all of the crazy shit she's doing. They ignore that shit, all right? She's out of her mind. She's wacky. She's crazy. They need to get a butterfly net and put on that fucking therapist. And she's been doing the most egregious things to be someone that is an accredited clinician or whatever. She's a therapist and she's out of her fucking mind. But the women are, co-signing her behavior and shit, and still attacking us, cisgender straight black men and shit. Okay, and I'm just tired of it. And I want to tell the women, okay, look, we understand that men's mental health is important and shit, but when we have to consider the source, okay, we have to consider the source. And the source is coming from someone that's just as flawed, okay? This is not a pissing contest, okay? You guys have been socially engineered to be a dissident in our lives for the most part, okay? Whether you believe it or not, you scoff at everything you do, negging and gaslighting and shit, okay? I said it a bunch of times in a bunch of videos, man. I got like probably 1,000 some videos on the social media platform. Okay, and I said it hundreds of times, if not more. Consider the source you're getting that finger wagging from. Basically, the tweet is like somebody sticking their finger in your face and wagging it around and shit. And that's why I show you the picture of this woman. Okay. She's telling you that you need to deal with your mental health and shit. She calls herself Jugs Mathis and shit. And there's another post where she has a shot of her body or something that's a metaphor for her body or a representation of her body and shit. It's like kind of like a thirst trap and shit, and it just makes me shake my head and face palm and shit because the only way they can, in our community, a lot of women communicate with their sexuality and shit, and just being rug sweeping and just being negative and generally negative shit. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of all the screaming and shit. It's gotten to a point where I can barely listen like to a female talking head at times. Like when I look at something, when I peruse, uh, you know, I look for content on multiple platforms. And when I see a black female talking head and shit, I just keep it moving and shit. And I think there's a lot of guys out there that feel the way I do and shit. Therefore, listening to a mentally ill, sexually frustrated therapist and shit is screaming the same thing, the same message at us ad nauseum and shit is not helping us shit. It's just hurting the matter. I would like to see some women take responsibility for themselves, okay? And learn how to change the narrative and shit, okay? Basically, what we've been telling you is that we're trying to get the fuck out of here because we're tired of this shit. We're tired of the same old thing, doing the same thing, getting the same fucking result and shit. And if we can't leave, we're just saying fuck it, okay? I'm in a place where, like, I just say fucking and shit with people, okay? I see the hypocrisy of a lot of people on a daily basis and shit. I see the hypocrisy, especially, black women and shit, in and out of, my personal space, my sphere, and it's disheartening and shit. I think good people deserve to have their faith rewarded sometime, but that's a non sequitur in the in our ethnic community and shit. Okay, I want normally I just give Jugs Mathis here the middle finger and shit. I give the middle finger and tell her go fuck herself. Okay, for that bullshit. And she probably does that anyway. I'm tired of shit. You women need to get your mental health together and shit because you have a limited range of things that you do. Okay, you have a limited range of understanding and how to relate and how to do shit, and you just sit up and you have a superiority inferiority complex that you want placated at all times and shit. You don't want to know what's really going on and shit. You just want to stay in your little bubble and shit and talk your trash and fuck around with your toys and your little baubles and shit and your jewelry and go on your little girls trips and shit. And, ain't nothing changing, okay? And then you want to blame all that shit on us when you can't ignore it. When there's too much trash outside your door, when you push the door to go out into the world and embarrass us even further on the world stage and shit, you look out there and you see that shit and then you say, hey, why aren't you guys coming to clean this up? Okay? I shouldn't have to see the trash that's left over from my wasteful activities, my pollution, my everything. You make the wrong decisions and whatnot. You increase our numbers and shit with you know substandard product, right? You don't parent your children properly. You make the wrong decisions with your own fucking body parts and shit. But you want to tell us about our mental health and shit. And a lot of you are given the carte blanche and shit from the minority majority to continue this cycle and shit. And it's just like, well, what's the fucking use? A lot of you bitches might as well just, when you have a fucking baby, just give the baby to the fucking, give the baby to the fucking government and shit, because you're doing that anyway, shit, in your flawed state and shit. Okay, you might as well just turn the baby over wholesale and shit, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with it and shit. It's gonna get to that anyway. You know, I know how it sounds, but I'm just getting so tired. It seems like there's a big push for to make black men think they're insane, think they're losing their nut and shit, okay? No matter what your condition is, we're all the same to them, okay? All them niggas look alike, okay, in the crowd. So you just mow them down, all right? And then on top of that, the ones that escape that massacre, they get to go home or go wherever they hide or rest their head, and they already have somebody waiting there to push the knife in further or to finish the job that the outside world didn't do. Okay, they want to get you before you even have a dream these days. Okay, and that's why they socially engineered these women to be like giant children. All right, that's all they care about is like baubles and going to a fucking party and this and that and the other, and their own self importance, their own skewed sense of self righteousness. It's not based on anything real, and wrapped in a fake construct of what you guys call feminism and shit, but it is actually straight up racist, sexist bigotry. Okay, and then you project, and we have to hear this shit. There's no way you can go you don't hear it and shit. Okay, it's got to the point like I can't even look at Jonathan Majors right now. Okay, I think the fucking man's innocent. But I can't stand the sight of him and shit because I have to hear all this shit about allegations, this, that, and the other, and his preference, and blah, blah, blah. You get damned if you do, get damned if you don't, shit. But you motherfuckers is doing the worst. You get to move unimpeded and shit because you guys are the biggest dupes on the planet and shit. Okay, you're easy to manipulate and control, if you're an outsider. Okay, and a lot of these Negroes is too. They came out of your fucking wombs and you neglected them. You didn't raise them. You didn't give a shit. You know, when you call yourself that you raise your daughters properly, but they're fucked up. They can't maintain no decent relationships. Divorce is one of the norms of our society. You know, you guys talk about something being slavery and shit. What would you know about that? You getting everything on a silver platter and shit. Okay? Even though you're in the bottom of the barrel with us and shit, you just want to get on that chair and shit. Oh, I'm a little bit taller than you. That's good enough for me and shit. So here, minority majority, you can take my babies and my money and shit, and any generational wealth, my self respect and shit, and it's a fair trade, you know. And you give me 3 pieces of silver, and you wonder why people want to get the fuck out of here.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.